And then no with Steph and Joe, right?
Shh, we're live. Live on social media. There, you're muted. Okay, you're muted. Hang in there. We're going to go live pretty quick. There it is. Welcome to In the Know with Steph and Joe. In the Know with Steph and Joe is all about small business development. These two entrepreneurs bring real life experience, laughter, and, well, just a ton of knowledge on how to build your small business and make it thrive. This is your creation. Now learn how to make it whistle. I usually say sing, but you guys do have a whistly type of intro. Today it's all about the April Fools or April Fools and shenanigans around the office. Don't adjust your
shenanigans.
Yeah, do not adjust your radios and or iPhones, because you do see Miss Mary Shep in the background. Look at that. New do. Looking good. I'm getting to Lynn. And
She chopped liver over here or what?
no, people know you because you have a show here.
People are going to be
And
confused.
from Gale Force Health LLC, our good friend Lynn Gale.
Hello.
He's been on the show before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Welcome in, everybody.
What a great day today is. It is April Fools.
April
You know
Fool.
it.
Who here has played a prank on somebody? That one's hard to say. Played a prank on somebody
That's right.
in the past. Well, it doesn't even have to be
Today?
April Fools. Did somebody do one today? Did anybody
I
get
feel like the
one
weatherman did with the snow on my front lawn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it was happening yesterday, so you kind of knew it was
Well,
coming.
it stuck. How did it stick when it was like 40?
It was overnight, and then it
Totally.
melted. Ta-da.
Look, it worked. Derek's like, sound? Question mark?
Yeah, clearly. See, my mom was wrong. Well, hi, Mom. Hi, Derek. Hi, Ted. Happy Friday.
Morning
Hey, everybody.
or afternoon.
So, Ken's going to put the link up for anyone that wants to
Copy it. Come on in.
come on in, and we're going to talk about any pranks that you've done or had done on you with regards to April Fools at the office, at your house, or anything.
Looks like Ted
Yeah.
Ted had one today, so we'd be happy to hear that. Ladies, who did anybody here have one?
Yes,
played on it?
today.
You
I did.
Today?
Yes.
What?
Well, mine was real simple. So I left Amazon Music on my phone from the day before. And as soon as I turned on my car, I don't know how this happened, but it changed playlists and it went right to Christmas music. So for 10 minutes on my way into McHenry, I was singing along with Burl Ives, watching the snow melt. So that I attributed to my, hey, April Fools. It's not Christmas.
There you go. It was your own April Fool's.
It
on
was.
yourself.
It was awesome.
Yes. Well, that's fun. I've only I did not, because nobody's around my house. I did not play any, and I feel it would be bad to play one of my dogs. So
Bad form.
I didn't do anything. Yeah, today.
What's that,
Yeah.
spring
What
break?
about your guys in the field?
break.
Nobody?
You know, it's too okay. So my
Were you even there today to be able to play?
I was there for a bit. Yeah, I was
Well, I
there.
mean,
Thank
for a
you.
long period of
So around the shop and our guys and gals, our human beings that work for us. Well,
Now I wonder what other kind of entities.
I know,
that you have.
right.
anything in between. I'm just saying, whatever could be. So somebody wants to identify themselves. I'm not telling them what they are, right? Anything in between. So they are too suspecting of an April Fool's prank, right? So the pranks that we that get pulled are not done on April Fools. They're done other times, right? One of our project managers jumped into my wife's vehicle and waited off the clock for 30 minutes until she came out to her vehicle and scared the crap out of her from the back seat of her car.
Poor Carrie.
We got it on video. It was a little pixelated and tough to see, but it was so funny to hear her scream so loud. And then she profanities after that and continuing to cuss, but knew that it was she
That
had,
is like a huge fear of
she
mine.
had been gotten. But we're in a well-lit parking lot where everybody that's standing around the vehicle is all employees waiting for her to get into the vehicle. They're all like watching, like, get in the vehicle. And then he jumps out. And that's why it was so funny. Yes.
I've had my car saran wrapped.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've saran wrapped vehicles before.
I think now that you mention it, I never really thought. I mean, there's all the times that you accidentally scare someone or scare them on purpose because they're walking around the corner. But the years that I spent in retail, the last decade, they've had cameras. So, and especially now you have radios and cameras. So if I can sit there and be on the camera and tell you, hey, Joe, if you turn around and walk right around that corner and just stand there, so-and-so is going to walk around the corner and you can scare the shit out of them. So it was kind of like a tag team where, especially at the last store, because I don't know why. It's not that I can't be scared, because there's been plenty of times where someone has walked up and scared the crap out of me, but it's rare. So usually someone comes around the corner, they think they're going to scare me, and I come walking around like, oh, hey, Steph. They're like, stop! Like, shit.
Dang it.
No one can scare it. So it was rare that it happened. So I very much enjoyed being the one that would walk around the corner and scare the crap out of somebody else, because it just seemed like nobody could ever get me back.
Those are
That's
always
good
fun.
ones.
Those are always
That
fun.
is awesome.
Well, one time Gavin thought he'd be funny. He was like maybe like 10. And so in my bedroom, I have a bathroom, and so the lights were off in my bedroom, and I was coming out of the bathroom, and I turned the lights off before I opened the door, and it was like pitch black because it was night, and he was standing there, and he like yelled, and like I punched him in the face.
Oh,
I was just going to say that. Like, what'd you do? Punch him in the face?
Totally.
Yep, just cold cocked him right in
And
the
I
face.
was like, that was totally your fault. That was totally your fault. I'm like, I have no sympathy for you. Like, that was your fault.
So now
Black eye?
I
No,
actually,
I didn't hit him that hard, but I was just like, because he was like, about the same height as me at 10, so I'm like, oh God.
Crazy.
Ted says the best prank he ever did, two of his friends, and he took the principal's car apart and put it on the school roof.
Wow.
That's impressive.
That's
Yeah,
a good
right.
one, Ted.
They
Yeah,
did it on senior, didn't you?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a funny one.
That's a principal who is loved.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I have some stories. I'm gonna sprinkle a couple of them in. They're from my dad, and he was a firefighter, career firefighter, and so firefighters have great senses of humor. I'm not gonna say
They
where
really
he worked.
handle their hose too.
You know.
You know.
Hey, do you know?
Hey,
Do
I
you
know.
know?
Trust me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I won't say where he worked or who pulled the prank or anything like that, but he told me one time it was they used to take the rookies, and because they sleep in the firehouse overnight, everybody gets their bed. And so if a rookie came in, they're also paramedics or EMTs or whatever. And so they had bags of IV. And so they would hang the IV bag with a real slow drip from the ceiling. And then they would start the drip right when the kid, the rookie would go to bed, and they'd wake up. When they wake up in the morning, all the crew would make sure they're aware of when the guy get up, the person would get up, and then they go over, oh, would you pee all over the bed? And they really thought like, oh my God, I just peed
hilarious.
all over myself. And they literally have that IV slow drip all night. onto just their midsection.
Right.
They think they peed the bed so bad.
That's awesome. Hey, I have a question. Is it true that if a man is asleep and you put their hand in warm water, they'll go to the bathroom?
It's not just men,
It's not
Or
just
women?
men, yeah.
Is that
But
true?
It's not,
and it's not everybody.
no,
Okay,
yeah.
I
it
thought that was
depends on
the fake
you
lore.
can't touch me at night right now and me
No.
not wake up.
No.
Okay.
It's not night and I'm not asleep. But
Yeah.
I will
Okay.
tell you.
Just wanted
you
to know.
move
Hey.
a finger.
Hey, listen, he sleeps with a mask on and earbuds in. So
But still, my dogs get out. My dog
Yeah.
gets out of the chair right next to the bed, and we have hard floors. I hear the click click.
Yeah.
I'm up.
Yep.
Even with the music on.
not me. A hurricane could go through it. I'll still sleep.
So
That's
you know who
right.
we're
I'm
testing
out.
the bucket
Right.
of water on,
Yes,
right?
we are tonight.
I heard it's warm water. I'm sure somebody will say otherwise, whether it works or not.
As long as we do it before midnight, it still
Derek-
falls under April Fool's.
Derek Hartman says that.
One time
Hi,
I scared
Derek.
my wife coming out of the bathroom, and she screamed so loud it actually scared me.
I love that, Derek.
That's great, Derek.
Scared
Yeah.
scared myself scaring you.
myself.
Yeah.
I love that.
Hey, Don Bremer.
Hey, Don.
I mean,
Hi, GIs. What are
jumping out and
GIs?
scaring people is always hilarious. What other pranks?
So I listen. This is the best prank I ever heard, and it was go back to somebody else. It was so good. I got to remember who it was now.
Okay, okay.
But it was a star when he wasn't a star. So you know,
Oh, interesting.
I
I'll
mean,
think
with in the office, we've done the whole where you do where you put the post-it notes all over somebody's desk.
Yep.
Sure.
So that like wastes like your whole office budget for like a whole quarter. Or with me being the bookkeeper that I am, I then took all of the post-it notes off their desk and tried to re-stick
Stack
them in a
them
pile
together.
so we could actually use them.
It
But
wasn't straight aligned, but it was close
Nope,
enough.
but
to
it was
reuse
good
it.
enough.
Yep.
Kelsey Adams would love that because she has a post-it note addiction.
I would say my favorite one, and we did it once. I got in trouble for doing it, but the air horn under the chair.
Oh, yeah.
So when they sit on the chair, it makes it go off. We were in a office of there was 140 people on our floor and we had one floor of the building, and God, it was loud.
So, you know those little like at the like a Chuck E. Cheese kind of place, you get the tickets, you win the prizes, you get the little plastic
Mhm.
bazooka.
Yep.
Mhm.
Little, like blow
Kazoo.
Yeah.
It's a kazoo. It's not a bazooka.
So
it's a kazoo. You have
maybe
to know what it's called.
we there was an old office manager, and she wasn't anybody's favorite person. So it was the least harmful thing that we could do, we thought. It ended up being so hilarious that it lasted for like 2 weeks because no one wanted to say anything because it was awesome. So she didn't know that there was an air conditioning vent behind her desk. So we put the kazoo thingy in the vent, just the piece that there's the little reed that makes the noise
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the vent. So every time the air conditioning kicked on, you hear this. Like it didn't blow hard enough to make the whole sound, but it was enough to have. You guys hear that whistle?
What is that
What are you
noise?
talking about? Okay, and then it would stop. She's like, "Oh, never mind. It must be me." So for like a week and a half, she's like, is it? What
That
it,
is
my
a
phone?
great
Oh, no,
one.
wait, I think it's my computer. Like it's my computer. So she moves, and then finally, someone got frustrated with her complaining about it because she was about to go nuts one day and tear the desk apart. and
Oh,
fold it.
yeah.
So we were all bummed. But yeah, for like a week and a half, she's like, what is that noise?
That is so funny.
That's
All
good.
I remember it now. So
Okay.
George Clooney, right? So we all know George Clooney. When he was a struggling
Hang on, come outside.
actor,
Yeah.
he lived in a one flat
My
in New
first
York
boyfriend.
City, and he was so broke he needed a roommate in this one flat. And so he gets this roommate, and about 2 days after the roommate's there, the guy gets a kitten. George hates cats. He
Mm.
brings home a kitten, puts the turd box, the cat litter box, in the bathroom. George hates it. So George gets up every morning and cleans out the cat box because he doesn't want this little one flat in New York City to start smelling like cat turd, right? So all this while, every day, he's throwing out the poop, and his roommate has no idea. So after about a week of this, he goes, I think there's something wrong with my cat. my cat hasn't taken a shit yet. Have you seen? George's like, have you looked under the couch? Have you, So then, like after 2 days or so, George gets up in the morning and he takes a shit in the cat box.
So fast.
That is epic.
So the guy wakes up. The guy wakes up and sees this turd as big as the
Massive.
cat.
That is great.
I'm like, that is brilliant.
George, hey, dude, when'd your cat start eating corn? Wow. That's funny. I mean, there's all the fun pranks. That's a good one. That's like the moment you can do it, you got to do that prank, right?
Yeah.
There's so many that are fun and stupid online. I did the one with the water bottle where you drop the coin in with the handkerchief and then you make the person look over it and then you squeeze the bottle.
Yeah.
I did that to my oldest daughter. She thought and I'm like, how have you not watched? You watch more social media than I do. How have you not seen that prank before?
I don't know what that break is.
Here, I'll show it to you.
Here, you mean this?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, here, taste the cake.
Yeah,
the cake.
exactly.
I'm sure all of you have seen the movie Shrek
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the little tiny king.
Yeah,
Yes.
Lord Farquaad.
Right, Lord Farquaad. Whatever.
Yes.
Good one.
Little tiny guy. So again, God, this was long time ago at retail, and the store manager was that. Like he was 5'5", full of piss and vinegar, Chihuahua complex, like
Taller than me still. Taller than me still.
I was just gonna say, Steph.
and that's what he looked like. He just every time that's what it reminds me of is that guy. And he was funny sometimes, but not. And he never really intended to be mean, but he was kind of an asshole. We had those in the receiving dock. We had this big, huge bin full of those packing peanuts. So you just pull a little lever and it fills the box.
I got one of those
So I
You
filled
do.
his office
with packing peanuts.
because the office door has a half window. So you can't, if you're this big and you can't really see over the window good when the light's off. So he comes into his office and he's got his hand, and of course it goes into the office. So he actually had to walk in. So by the time he realized that he's talking to you and he steps backwards into his office like he always does, and the peanuts start rolling, he goes to take a step forward and turn around and falls right into the peanuts.
At least it was a soft landing.
The look on his face, because they're motion lights, so the lights turn on and his little short ass stands up and he's just beat red and staring at us like, which one of you girls in the office did this?
I love it.
Yeah. I got transferred out of the office like the next week.
You did not, really?
I mean, technically it was a promotion, but I was no longer one of the office staff.
When
my
I
God.
worked in the shoe store, I used to walk and I'd save, because people occasionally walk out of the shoe store with the shoes on and they didn't want the box. So I'd save the box, right? And I just put it up top. So occasionally I'd take those empty boxes and I'd act like I'm coming around the corner or something and go, whoa, and I'd let them go all over somebody. And they're like thinking there's these big heavy shoe boxes or
That's
boot
awesome.
boxes coming at them. They're all empty boxes. It was one of my favorite things to do because everybody's like,
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I want to do the one where you take all of your old Amazon boxes and you save them like somewhere, and then when your husband comes home, you stick all the empty closed boxes like on the front porch.
Love it.
So they think
So I think it's like-
Amazon.
I get enough of those that it actually does look
I
like
was gonna
that
say, that's
sometimes
your life.
on my front porch. Yeah.
If you have a lot of time, just rip your label off and then seal them back up and then put them on your neighbor's porch. And they're all empty.
What?
Yeah, that's a good one.
My neighbors are out of town. That'd be hilarious.
Like, oh, what's all this stuff? They're all empty. And all the labels are ripped off. So you,
That'd be really funny,
yeah,
actually.
I love it.
All right. Anybody? Wait. Do we have any more that came
Not
in?
right now.
No.
And actually, you know what we should always do too that I didn't do because it's April
Oh.
April Fools is our good friend at Epic Media Inc. They are the bomb. and they support this show, and we thank them for that. When you're truly
Absolutely.
authentic, there can be no competitors. With the continued growth of technology these days, it is essential that you have an effective internet marketing strategy in place for your business. Whether you need a custom web design or help integrating your social media accounts to your business marketing program, reach out to Jess right there, epicmediainc.com. There you go.
So, has anybody done a prank that was driven to teach a lesson?
Oh.
Ooh.
No.
No?
Well,
Well, like you do
besides,
something. Yeah. Like
telling my husband I'm pregnant and I wasn't. That way, teach him that maybe we need birth control.
wow, that's not a good one. I don't like that one at all. That one. Dave, man, I'm sorry about that one.
Get that vasectomy, man.
It's like the gender reveals when it's black.
Nope.
Whoops.
Oops.
Gosh. So our employees left the van unlocked one night. You got one? Okay, so I'll tell mine. So our employees left the van unlocked one night, and we wanted to teach them a lesson, and we wanted to do it in semi fun way to us. So we scheduled that night that they left the van unlocked. We called in one of our other employees and their family, and the 4 or 5 of us went in and snuck in with hoodies and ski masks because we wanted it on camera on our security cameras in the back. And we went in and ransacked the van and took everything. And we did it. We parked off camera and then ran everything to the vans, to the truck, to my truck, loaded it all up and drove it all away. And then let the employees come in the next day and discover the vans had been ran through. It was
awful.
so funny to see their faces and their reactions. But at the same time, it was like, yeah, freaking lock the vans. So now we have everybody, when they're walking away, they go, walking away, so-and-so's locked. I did it. Like I'm locking the van. Anybody else goes in, you better be locking it up. Right. So, yeah, it was quite the lesson learned, but it was really fun because I got to pull out my old Chuck Taylors and I put my Chuck Taylors on so I could run, and I got like a ski mask and everything on, and it was hilarious to do that. It was a lot of fun.
That would have been crazy. Yeah. So in my former job, one of our field personnel left their windows rolled down in their car. And in their driver's seat was a half-packed, half-smoked bowl.
Nice.
So I was like, and this was before it was legal. And so I was like, why would they leave this out like this? So I took it out of their car and I put it in my desk drawer. I called my boss. I was like, hey, if you go in my top desk drawer when I'm not in the office and that's not mine. And so, like,
hey, since I told you before, it counts, right?
Yeah. I'm like, it's not mine. I'm not telling you whose it is, but it's not mine. So he's like, whatever. So then the employee comes back at the end of their day and they go out to their car to get ready to leave. And then all of a sudden they come back into the office and they're like digging through their backpack, like digging and digging and digging. And I'm just sitting there watching them. And I'm like, okay. And then they go back out to their car. Then they come back in again. And I'm like, did you lose something? Did you lose your check? Because it was payday. And they're like, no. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, what are you looking for? And they're like, nothing. And I'm like, I'm like, okay. I'm like, did you maybe lose something that was purple?
Oh, that's hilarious.
They're like, what do you know? They're like, what do you know? And I'm like, I'm like, well, what did you lose? And then we went back and forth with it for a little bit, and then I gave it back to them, and I'm like, roll your windows up and lock your doors. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Especially if you're gonna leave it out.
like,
That's hilarious. That's funny. Did we get any?
That was my lesson teaching, I guess, moment.
That's a good teaching lesson moment, right? Like that's you make them freak out for something like that. They're totally gonna be now. Like I teach my daughter a lesson when she was younger. My oldest one, she's so stubborn headed, but I'm more. So
You just have more years.
I was gonna say, wait till she gets older.
Yeah.
and
you
Go
know,
toe to toe on
hey,
that.
listen. I'll be ready. I gutted her room. If she would ever go, no, I'm not. And argue and start yelling and screaming and throwing in a fit or whatever, I'd be like, fine, sit down, make her sit in timeout, and then I would literally timeout is right at the below the stairs with the balcony right above. So she just sits there and watch me take everything out of her room and walk it across the hall. Oh yeah, yeah. No, literally, I've taken everything, including everything but her. So her desk, her bookshelf, everything except her clothes, her dresser, and her bed. Those are the 3 things that are left in her room: clothes, dresser, bed.
I'm glad Joe's not my dad.
That's it.
I mean, this wasn't a
Oh.
prank, but me and Gavin had a moment when he was 13 and he was all sassy. And so then I just lost it. And I told him to stay downstairs. And I went upstairs and I disassembled his room
Mhm.
and pulled everything out into the hallway.
Mhm.
And I threw my back out trying to pull his dresser out because I was like, we're going to live by prison rules in this house. You get a mattress on the floor and one
Love it.
touch.
Love
Like,
it.
and then the screwdriver is stuck in the middle little door jam thing.
Yep.
And so the screwdriver's stuck, the door's half on the hinges. Call Rich, tell him to leave work early because he's got to come home and deal with this. Gavin's downstairs, all he hears is the noise. Rich comes upstairs and I have my back's thrown out. I can't do anything. He's like, what? And by then I'm laughing now. And Rich is like,
Hysterically.
yes. And Rich is like, I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't even know what to do. And then so he yells at Gavin to come upstairs. And so Gavin comes and sees this. And Rich is like, clean up this mess. And Gavin's like, I didn't make the mess. And he's like, I didn't ask who made the mess. Just clean up the fucking mess.
See, I'm not hysterical when I'm doing that. I can literally do it in a matter. It takes me about to really clear her room. I could do her room in probably about 30, 35 minutes.
Oh no, I was
You
taking
have way too much
everything out of
practice
there.
at that.
Yeah, but
Oh,
Literally,
yeah.
that's what we do.
who's that a prank on? You just spent 30 minutes moving stuff.
It wasn't
But,
a prank.
I mean,
No.
I
you know.
just was so mad that I just was
Yeah,
gonna
you were-
jump
you
it
were-
out.
I'm
but
right
like,
there
for-
with you.
For
Like-
me, so I'm practicing that prank actually right now because my daughter doesn't know this. So she probably would never listen to me, but on this
This will be
show,
the one time she's
this
listening
is
to
the
the show.
one
Right,
time
right,
she's
right.
listening. I'm gonna shock and awe. I have gutted her, emptied her room
Oh my
while they're
For
gone.
good reason.
Yeah, hang on. There's a good reason.
Oh, bugs, I hope.
No, we bought her paint colors because her room was pink when we first bought the house. We
Mm,
painted pink, and she
mhm.
wanted different colors. So she bought some gray tones, picked out some gray tones. And so while they're on vacation on spring break in Florida, I emptied her room. I walked by it on Sunday
Mhm.
morning, went, I could do this. And I gutted it, emptied it. And now throughout the week, as I've been like working and doing everything in between, I have paint on my pants now. I've been painting. I finished like the last little bit of it today. I got a couple more touch-up spots that are very small, and then lights to be hung tonight or tomorrow. And they'll be back tomorrow
For the big
Right.
reveal.
and she'll be totally blown away. She has no clue.
Yeah.
No clue.
She's gonna love it.
Yeah, because I kept telling her, clean your room and I'll paint your room. Clean it. But she never cleaned it. So
They never do.
well, I finally was like unboxing everything. So
Get a
I just
torch.
boxed everything up. And when I put it all back, I was debating, do I like literally just take everything from the boxes and go and dump it all out in the center of the room and just put the furniture back where it goes? Like up
Sure.
against the nice painted walls.
Sure.
I'm thinking I'll be nice and leave it in
Probably
the
won't even
boxes,
notice.
but if it stays in the boxes and she doesn't unpack it, then I can just pick that box up and carry it out, and she'd never notice the
That's
stuff's
right.
gone.
That's very true.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
good
So I'm
point.
thinking I'm gonna leave it in the boxes.
I almost wish this was a prank, but
Oh,
it
man.
truly wasn't. So, like not all. Well, I would assume all of the stores that I've ever worked in, there is an actual panic button, like a bank.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Somewhere there's
Yep.
a button that you can push, and there's no going back. You push that button, the cops are showing up.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. The one at the store, the wiring was loose, let's say.
Did it short?
So there was a couple times that had been clicked accidentally over the years. It's happened. The police show up. They're like, it looks like you guys are all fine. We're going to walk around the building. Everything's fine, right? So all of a sudden, my phone's blowing up. It's security. It's the police department. And then it's my one associate who happens to be a young Hispanic kid
Mm-hmm.
in a beat up old minivan. So he's the most wonderful human being. I can't even tell you. He will literally peel the skin off his body and give it to you if you needed it. He is the most absolute wonderful person on the planet. So he does, like, everything has to be done right. He was told that, you start your car, you let it warm up. It's better for the engine. It's better for the car. You're like holding.
I do that.
So everybody's gone.
And it's
There's
just
nobody there. So there's a young Hispanic kid in a beat up minivan sitting in a dark parking lot in a retail establishment with no one around when the cops show up. So of course the cops call backup.
Poor kid.
Oh.
So he's on the phone with me. So Miss Mary, I don't know what to do here or what to tell them, but the cops are wanting my license. And you can hear he's freaking out. I said, all right, I have to hang up on you. I will call you right back. I promise on my life, I will call you back.
And then she's gone.
I've got
Kid's been sitting in jail ever
Jose?
since.
I don't know. No, Jose.
Security keeps calling me because none of my other leadership team was answering their phones because it goes through the method. So I'm like, if I don't answer this phone, it's going to keep going up the line to corporate people.
Oh my God.
So I answer the phone. It says, the silent alarm was triggered. Nope, everything is fine. Do not dispatch any more police. I'm on it. Thank you. Disarm the system for me. So I finally get a hold. Turns out my assistant store manager, when he locked the building and went to leave, he clicked the alarm. They had all already left. I said, so you have just called the silent alarm. So they think that we're being robbed because it's an after the fact silent alarm. Like he had hit the codes, but then hit the thing. And so I said, you realize what's going on, right? He says, no, what? So just tell them to disregard. I said, yeah, but they've got Rigo out in the parking lot doing a full background check on this
and a full cavity search.
He's like flat on the parking lot like this.
Yeah.
So he's like, you sure it's okay to leave? Yes, you can leave. I've already talked to the police. I've talked to security. I've talked to everybody. You can go home now. Poor kid. The next day, he was terrified. Absolutely terrified. I'm
just to come into work.
Sorry.
He's got such PTSD over just the parking lot.
Right?
Totally.
They did. Oh my God, I felt so
full
bad.
Cavity search?
I know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I have a question for Joe real quick.
Yeah.
So my husband and my son. So
yes.
I want some advice as to some of the stuff I can do to them tonight.
Okay.
Or Steph. I look forward to what can I do to sauce this up?
I mean, so to me, one of my favorites always is if you can get that clear plastic cellophane across the doorway. And call in, right? Like that one's always, the toilet. That one's always toilet. Somebody's got to clean that up.
Yeah. And it would be me.
And it's usually, it's not going to be the dude.
And I miss it.
Okay, cellophane. Okay, I need no notes.
That is so
okay.
So I walk right under the cellophane. I'm so sure.
Okay,
so I don't even notice
cellophane. All right, Joe. Continue. What else? How do you spell cellophane?
I've always
the saran wrap.
Saran wrap.
Better.
Yeah. I was gonna say so.
Spicy stuff is always fun.
One that I heard, and I was I actually called my dad to confirm the facts and details of some of the pranks I heard he used to pull. And so I said the one about the IV. This is one that I thought he told me, but he couldn't remember this one. But I've heard it before, so it could have been anywhere that I've heard this. But you take any kind of hard candy, Welchers, right? Jolly Ranchers, whatever. And if you unscrew your shower cap and put one or two of them in there, when they take a hot shower, the candy melts. And so as they're showering, they're also getting covered in sticky candy. So when they're done showering.
That's really pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you. I heard that one a while ago. That one's been locked in this nugget up here.
See, my husband would be like, here, honey, it's blue raspberry. Cherry, your favorite.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not like Welch's. Welch's is always a good one.
The butterscotch.
The butterscotch, yeah, like that one melts. From what I remember, that one melts pretty good. But you got to have a shower head that you can get them into there because not all of them
I'd break
you can
it.
take apart that easily.
Not all.
Yeah.
But
Next thing you know, Lynn's
Or
gonna
they
be on
might fit.
Facebook looking for a plumber.
Right.
I know a few.
right, exactly.
So this is
The
what
other
I'm
one,
trying to do.
always in the shower, you can just cold bucket of water while they're taking a shower.
I used to do that with a
Always
garden
great
hose.
one.
We had like a small window, like that little itty bitty window
Yeah.
above our shower in our old house that I grew up in, and the back porch was right there. So if you stood up on the rail of the deck,
All the rest of us would be at the right height.
Right.
maybe. So you have to stand up on there, and then you spray the garden hose into there.
That's awesome.
Like it would kind of get into the shower, kind of get all over the bathroom.
I was gonna say the way I'm picturing that arcs right over the shower curtain,
Yeah.
and you're soaking the entire.
It's like
bathroom.
it's a combo thing. I mean, my mom played a prank. I don't know if my mom's still listening. I don't know if she would want me to share this, but she played a prank on me. I didn't think it was funny. I still don't think it's funny to this day, but
I think it is.
The one
I-
being
Tell us.
you-
We need to know.
I want to know if
Yeah.
it wasn't that funny to you, but it was to Linda. I want to know.
I
so
wanna
it was
know.
like around Halloween sometime,
Perfect time
and
for
I was
pranks.
getting ready to go to a Halloween party, and I happened to have some paraphernalia on me. My mom found it.
What type of paraphernalia would that be,
Right?
It was
Stephanie?
a small, just like a dime bag. It was small, nothing, whatever. And
Right.
my mom. So then
That's not paraphernalia, by the way.
Oh,
Coin
whatever.
purse?
It
What
was a
is
small-
that?
A coin-
Yeah.
Coin purse.
Was it a dime?
I had a coin purse,
Totally different meaning for a coin purse.
but so I had
That's a prison pocket.
so whatever. I had this little nugget on me,
Okay.
and my
I believe
mom.
they're called nugs.
Yeah,
Like a
whatever.
chicken nugget? Or-
Yeah.
So,
That's what I'm saying.
my mom found it on my person, and she
Like in your bra
It was in the like my pants
pocket.
like
Wa-
no
waistband loop?
yeah
Waistband?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's in the waistband. So whatever. My mom found it, got grounded for 6 months,
Wow.
and
Wow, Linda, you're
Sheesh.
aggressive.
So the only
What a
time-
sentence.
so like if my mom left the house, I had to go with her. Every errand my mom ran, I had to be there with her. Like I was not allowed to be
Nice.
home alone. So I was grounded for a while. Got off grounding. 2 days after I got off grounding, I walk into the door and my mom is sitting at the top of the stairs and she's like, "What is this? I thought we just had a conversation." And she has another bag, a little baggie. And I was like, "That's not mine." And then she's like, "Yeah, it is." She's like, "I found it in your room." And I'm like running through and I'm like,
No, I didn't.
nope,
No,
nope,
I
not mine.
smoked all the stuff in my room.
Right, it's my inventory, it's not
I'm like,
mine.
not mine.
just like
Yeah.
that stuff in the drawer wasn't
Yeah.
yours that you took out of
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
coworker's car.
But I was like, "It's not mine." And then my mom eventually she's like kind of broke character and started laughing. Her and my stepdad found it and they were getting gas at Mobile and they found it next to the gas pump and they picked it up and
That's
took
hilarious.
it home to then try and pin it on me. And they thought it was hilarious because then my mom was like, but originally when she found the nugget on me, she's like, "How much did you pay for this?" And I told her how much I paid. And she's like, "Really? For this?" She's like, "Back in my day, I got
I was gonna say, did she give it back?
Right.
Did you get the
In my
contraband? No,
day.
so
it." So
Linda-
she's
wait,
like, "I could have gotten a
wait.
whole quart-sized baggie full for that price." She's like, "What are you
Linda,
doing?"
Linda, that's swag stuff. You don't want it. My next question is, Linda, did you consume it? Did you consume what you took away from her? I want to know this, and we need to make sure that we get a response on that one.
That's right.
Oh, but you know, like white elephant gifts and stuff. Does anybody
Uh-huh.
ever do like
Yeah.
kind of like
Sure.
naughty adult like white elephant gifts?
you know,
so
we
maybe.
don't all go to the same swinger type parties that you.
Perhaps
go
our
to,
good friends
Steph.
at Fantasy Factory.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Where's Scott when I need him?
That's
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's just give a quick shout out to our good friends over at
There
epicmediainc.com. They do all that good stuff. Website design, your social media stuff for marketing, all that good stuff. They won't play a prank on you. They'll help your business. They're absolutely great.
Absolutely.
So give them a call. Also give Restoration One a call. If you got a little fire, mold, whatever it is, smoke, I don't know what it is.
Water.
Give them a call.
Poop.
It's right behind Lynn. So I think people can see it too. Oh, there it is.
So is your
847-264-4664. If you need a book balanced or some
book
debits
keeping?
and credits or whatever, get a hold of Steph's bookkeeping and have her do your bookkeeping. She does mine.
we all want.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. She does mine as well.
Oh,
FYI.
Marie, do you have any good stories of pranks that you played on Skip or Rich or Tina when you guys were younger?
Here's
This is Rich's sister, my sister-in-law.
Okay.
Here's a good one to play on a younger person. Is you have them put their palms down on a table, and you take glasses of water, and you just tell them, say, hey, I saw this on TikTok, because if you start that with any kid, they're going to try it, right? I saw this on TikTok. They say that you can't balance 2 full glasses of water on the back of your hands, right? And so then they'll put their hands palm down on the table. You put the 2 full glasses on the back of their hands and just walk away. There's no way they can move without spilling the water.
Well, that's like putting the glass of water to the ceiling with the broom and say, here, hold the broom. And then you walk away, and then they go, oh, crap.
Yeah.
What do I do now?
Speaking of TikTok, though, you know what we should do is Dawn still listening? Can anybody tell?
Who knows?
If Dawn's not listening, then we should do this.
We're going to do this to Dawn.
On your show, we should get 2 milk jugs and be like, we saw this on TikTok, and get the whipped cream.
Yeah.
And then put it on the paper plate and put the milk jug, the string underneath it.
Yeah.
And then cut the string. Right?
Oh, that one's a good one. I like that. See, I want to do that one to somebody.
Now you've never seen it, Lynn?
No.
So they're
listen. We need
the
no.
weight,
So
they have
what we
to put
need
their
to do
hands out like this.
Okay.
And then you have the string going
a
across
string
their
going
hand.
across
Okay.
with a pie right here.
But the milk jugs
The milk
are holding,
jugs are
so you're
holding the
like
string.
kind of
like this?
resisting.
Yeah.
So then you cut the string,
And then you like
and that and whack.
Smacks you in the face.
Yeah.
That's really good.
See, we need to stop telling Lynn all these jokes that are on, all these pranks that are on.
So you can
TikTok,
do it to me
because
because
that way we can do
I
some
am like
stuff.
I am
we
like
can totally
a joke
get
virgin.
Another great one that my kids will do, like if we're out, downtown Chicago, or even in a department store or whatever, is you freak out like you saw something. There's nothing there. You're just like, whoa, and see what the person next to you. They jump. It's
kidding.
It's fun, and you look down at the ground like you're jumping over something, and people freak out.
Oh my God, did you see that?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Holy
hilarious.
crap.
Yeah.
We had everybody has Elf on the Shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when we moved our last house 10 some whatever years ago, we're unpacking everything, and of course this is right around November-ish, and my husband unpacks. He has Venom, and everybody knows Venom now because there's the Venom movies, but he has a 2-foot tall doll.
Does he still have it?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
The only reason it's not in the box is because the box got ruined, because I do. My husband collects comic books. He's got all of that. So
That's actually cool. I
so
like
he
that
has
kind of
this tall, solid black, evil looking doll. I'm okay with it. I know who I married. Either way, puts it on the table. It's sitting there. We're unpacking. Everything's fine. The bathroom that we have was super tiny. So when you open the door, it covers this little half window on the wall. So you can't see what's there. So he put Venom in the window. So when I came home from work and went into the bathroom to brush my teeth and turn the light on, I could see him in the mirror, because in the mirror, he's right over my shoulder, about pissed myself. Grabbed the doll, come running through the house. You pieces. So then I, in turn, waited, and when he was getting ready to go downstairs, so I put Venom on the stairs that go downstairs where the light was. So I put him in front of the light, so it looked like all you could see was his shadow across the wall. So when Ben went to go downstairs to play a game of pool with his buddy, turns the light on, and you just see this big shot. So he almost fell down the stairs in his breath. So you fast forward, he puts Venom in my bed, tucked in my pillow, with a little cigarette. It wasn't lit, but with a little cigarette between his little fingers, and one of those little tiny bottles of scotch. I mean, it's just the doll, but you flip the light on to go lay down, and here's this doll looking there staring at you with this Venom face.
Glenda, don't.
Oh my gosh!
Don't
So
listen,
we had
Glenda.
this whole, that whole Christmas we joked that everybody's got Elf on the shelf.
Awesome.
We've got Venom on the shelf, because he ended up everywhere in our.
That
our
is
house.
so funny.
I just had to look it up too.
We
Yeah,
had
what you were
we
talking
had
about, and
a,
that's
um,
completely frightening.
Yes, it's a
We
2-foot tall black doll.
we
like that.
pulled some nasty,
Yeah.
crazy doll head out of some fire somewhere, and our guys just
What?
couldn't get rid of it. It was like some little girl's doll that was in a fire, and it was all mangled and disheveled and whatever. And the guys pulled
You
it
should have
out
called a priest.
and carried. Carrie taped
I got
it.
another doll one.
Carrie taped it to the back, right over the rear view camera that's on the back of one of our vans. So when they put it in reverse, there's no back windows on our vans, right? So you got the two side view mirrors and you have the rear view camera.
That's
And
awesome.
that's all you get. So when you
Awesome.
put it in reverse, it freaking is right there in the camera.
I love it.
That one's one of my favorites. It doesn't matter what vehicle it is now. You could put, and really what actually works really well is not the figure itself, but just a picture of a face. Really,
Do it
just
to
a
me.
picture of a
Little
face
picture.
or something
Nobody
right
checks it,
behind
right.
you is freaking hilarious.
I just want
mean,
to point out we have absolutely no insurance. So if you guys attempt to do any of these
Yeah.
pranks that
Oh,
we
right.
are reviewing, we are
We are
not
not liable.
responsible.
we are not liable for this.
Any and all
Disclaimer: do
pranks
not
have
try
been
these at home.
performed
I
by
was gonna say
professionals.
I'm saving the one doozy
Right.
prank I heard of. I'm saving it for the end. So I have one doozy that I'm gonna say that I heard. I didn't do it. It was another one from the fire station from my dad. But you know the one I'm talking about. I think I told you in the green
I think
room.
so.
Yeah. But I'm saving that for the end. So we'll
I
keep
think
going.
the only other doll one I have, and you talking about your doll made me think of it. My sister's.
Do you have a doll?
The doll.
doll.
The
Yeah.
doll.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is
I
it
wouldn't
a
even-
baby doll, Joe?
Corner.
Yeah.
Joe,
wouldn't
is it
even-
next to you?
That's
Yeah.
creepier than the thing that we hung from that we could pull out of
Don't
fires.
talk about Glenda like that.
So,
Linda's
Should I show everyone?
Greta-
the
yeah,
Glenda's
No,
one?
don't pick her up.
No.
She's
Oh,
Don't
don't
touch
touch
her.
her.
Yeah, just
She's
leave
fine
her.
over there
Leave
already.
her in the corner. Leave Linda
All
in
right.
the corner.
everybody knows Cabbage Patch dolls, right?
Yeah.
I had one.
So I had one, and my Cabbage Patch doll died because my sisters, who decided to build a haunted house in our basement for fun, and
Funsies,
it was actually
right?
pretty cool. It was really neat. They decapitated
Of course.
my doll, so that the
'Cause
head
they
was in
didn't
one
wanna
part and the body was in
decapitate
another part.
their doll.
Right.
Right.
So, well, they're a little bit older than me, and being the little sister, it's not that I wasn't allowed to participate, but I was usually the first one that they would let participate unless
Right.
mom and dad said you have to let your sister play.
Right.
So of course I didn't think anything of it when they're like, yeah, come check it out. It's really cool. And then here goes me going through the little haunted house to find that they had decapitated
yes.
my Cabbage Patch doll.
And you still have
Yes.
issues.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's
Yes.
some you've
I have a
you've
therapist.
hung
I
on to
have
that
a
one
lot
for
of I have a lot of, being the baby sister issues.
Oh my God. So in my daughter's apartment in New York City, she has a life-size Post Malone.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it on Facebook or anything like that,
Hey,
but
George Chase.
it's before like all his
Yep.
tattoos on his face and shit. So it's in this interesting place, and every time I'd be moving around her apartment, it would startle me constantly, and I'd be like, "Holy shit, what is that? Oh, it's Posty. Okay,
Posty.
Posty."
We have,
You guys are on like such a friendly
Wait,
date.
wait.
I know
First name
Posty.
basis.
What would you think?
Right.
But Sydney said this was her alarm system because if they came into the kitchen and then made a bend to the right to get to her bedroom, they would see Posty and then they would scream. Every time that thing gets me every time. I'll show you a picture of it. Around the bend, there's
we
Posty. It
cleaned
scares the
somebody's
shit out
we
of me.
cleaned somebody's house. It might have actually even been. I don't think it was Randy Rice, but it might have been his house that we got it from. But somebody's house, they had a life-size Angelina and Brad from Mr. and Mrs. Smith,
Totally.
right?
They
Like
hit
a
up.
cardboard cutout.
Cardboard cutout of a promotion of the movie. It was a cardboard cutout of a promotion of the movie. Let me see.
Which
the
is
picture.
awesome.
Let me see. That's
I-
that's hilarious.
Okay, so I'm
So-
sitting next to Posty with a drink, and I said, "This man is so handsome."
So with our cutout that we got, what we would do is, for some stupid reason, the bottom half of the cutout got kind of like taken off. So all it was, and then Brad's legs got taken out. So it's just Angelina Jolie's legs. Right? And then they would like literally have it like coming out of like a doorway or something, right? They'd like pin it into a doorway. So it would literally be just like the legs coming out of the doorway. And you're like, what? When you
Right?
walk
That
around and
makes
just
sense.
see legs right there. Or
Totally.
it would be the top half stuck somewhere right, above a table or behind a counter or something like that.
Right.
I love cutouts.
We used to stick my brother in one of those bags that you use for travel for like your suits or dresses or whatever, like those travel bags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would put him in the front lawn during Halloween, and then it would be like a body bag kind of, and then like he would
Totally.
jump out of there like
That's hilarious.
That's a great
That actually
idea.
reminds me, when I was in middle school, believe it or not, I was really small.
Oh no.
And I had in middle school, our middle school had so many people and so few lockers. We had to share lockers with it was 2 people to a full locker or whatever. And so every time it was like after like 3rd hour or something or 4th hour, I would get to the locker. And I waited, but then I had to go up to like the 3rd story from the 1st story. So I would wait. And then I'd be like, all right, close it. And I'd close it and I'd walk away. And right as I close it, my locker buddy would walk up like, and I'm like, sorry, dude. Like I waited as long as I could. So one day I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to be late. I don't care. And I got into the locker.
Of course you did.
And I closed it and I locked myself into the locker and I could hear my buddy walk up and the hallway's packed. You can hear all the crowd, but I can hear his voice going, hey guys, what's going on? What are you guys looking at? And they're like, Joe just took off. He goes, oh man. And then he opened the locker and I jumped out at him and he was like, holy crap. He threw his books. He had never used a backpack. He threw his books, his papers, everything. He hit a girl in the head with his science book. He hit a dude in the leg with his freaking math book. I mean, things went everywhere. I freaked the crap out of him.
That's a great story.
You really remember that
7th grade.
I almost
Cheers.
broke my husband's ribs once.
Well,
So in McHenry, I think I don't
This
even
is
know
about pranks, not
no.
not-
Well, I don't know yet.
Not bad.
That's a whole other.
yeah,
So-
show.
No, there used to be this
Where there
they
is
called it,
insurance.
Fort McHenry, and it's just like the old, back in the 90s or whatever, you had the wood jungle gym things at the
Yep.
park for the kids to play on.
Mhm.
Looked like a castle with the bridges and everything.
They just got rid of one in Cary.
Right. So they had one in McHenry across from what was the pool hall, the spot in the IHOP, which was Wags. So we at the time, and I'm pretty sure that this was after our car accident. So he didn't have his precious Mustang anymore. Well, that's a whole other show as well. So we're walking and he went to jump up and grab one of the railing things. And I thought it would be funny to come around the corner and scare him. So right when I did that, and it scared him, and he let go and fell on a railing,
Oops.
Ooh.
and he stands up and he's walking around. You can see he's like instant pissed. I'm going, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it, but I did mean it because I was trying to scare you, and it didn't
And I
work out
did
as
scare
planned.
you, and I didn't
So of
work so
course,
well.
then we get over to Wags, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I don't think it's that bad," and lifts his shirt up, and it's like, "Holy shit, I think I cracked 2 of your ribs."
Are they black
Wow.
and blue?
It was. I mean, this huge blood blister. He was tough and manning it out, but holy crap, I thought it was going to be the
That's
funniest thing. I
hilarious.
was going to sneak out of the dark and scare him, and I literally the whole like, boom, and he fell and cracked it.
Yeah, go ahead.
well, I mean, I guess this story is not work appropriate, but kind of plays off of Mary's story earlier when she was talking about that there was a office person that didn't have the best personality. We had a person like that in our office several jobs ago, probably like, I don't know, maybe bordering almost 20 years ago. And she was just unpleasant to be around. So some of the staff took a rubber dildo.
Yep.
And
I don't
put
know
it-
why you question. You know
like,
exactly what one
I
of
was
those
trying
are.
to think of like a better
right?
word to
No.
describe it, but
No.
so they put it in her desk.
personal pleasure toy.
Yeah, so they stuck it to the
Show.
bottom of her like
That's
metal
what it is.
drawer, and they closed the drawer. And when she opened the drawer, it was at full salute.
That's
And
so
she,
funny.
she didn't find it hilarious, but I thought it was.
I find it hilarious.
when the same year that I jumped out of the locker, to loop back a little bit, the same year I jumped out of the locker, there was a guy that nobody really liked. So we went and got a can of shaving cream and flicked it on, made it stay on, and threw it and it got it into his locker. It was full.
Oh,
It in
yeah.
fact was so full it spewed over into the 2 lockers next door.
Oh,
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that's a
yeah,
small locker.
absolutely. No, they were big lockers. They were like full
Really?
height
Yeah.
and like the 12 inches wide. They
Wow.
were normal size lockers, and it still went into the 2 lockers next door, just a little bit, but enough that we got in trouble.
Yeah.
One of Rich's classmates in high school
Mhm.
used to think it would be hilarious that he would go to the number 2 and then he would take it and put it on the walls and mirrors of
Nice.
the bathroom in the high school. That
There's always one of those.
Yeah.
There's always one of
Yeah.
those, right?
to the extent that
Can't you just do an upper decker and leave it be? Why do you gotta actually touch it?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like the deans and the principal named this person the lone shitter, and they never caught him.
That's like the water ban.
They could do a DNA analysis.
Well, I mean, you can always do the the old M80 in the toilet and blow up all the water coming out of all the other
Could you
toilets.
imagine being a janitor in a middle school or a high
God,
school?
Yeah, no, that's why. Well, you go in with a garden hose. I mean, that's why everything's like tile and whatever. But all right, I got one more story.
I do,
Okay.
and I got a good one too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right.
You do it.
So I got a buddy he's 6'9". He's a huge dude, right? And me and another buddy of mine were at my house. My wife must have been spring break or something. My wife and kids are gone. So big Chad comes over and he starts drinking and we're watching, wrestling, doing what dudes do. And we're all sitting around drinking and he's just hitting red wine, like drinking it like Kool-Aid. I'm like, dude, you better slow down. And he's just getting ripped. So he finishes like 2 bottles of red wine.
Dang.
And he like passes out. Right. And it's like,
As he should.
and it's like 7:30 So-
AM or PM?
PM. So it's not even late.
Well, he's got that going
So-
for him. It's
so-
better than AM.
Yeah.
So me and Mike look at each other and go, all right.
Yep.
And he's
Bring out
6
the
foot. He's 6'9", so we always called it fucking with Sasquatch, right? So,
Wow.
because he's so big.
Right?
and so we go in my house and we move all of the clocks up to like 11:30. Every clock in the house, because he's like, hey man, whatever happens, I gotta be home by 9 or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
So Mike, hides behind like the couch. I forget what he hid behind, whatever. And then, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh shit. It's 11:30. He shoots out because he's like, my wife's gonna kill me. He starts tripping over everything. He's looking for his shoes, everything.
His underwear.
Yeah.
Sounds like that kind of night.
The same damn TV show is on.
Hey, this might have been a rerun night.
And
It
that's
might
what
have been a rerun
That's what I
night.
said. I go, oh, you know how they just keep playing this stuff, and he's like, what the hell's going on? He's looking at his watch and he can't figure out why isn't matching every clock in the house.
Every analog clock in the
Uh,
house.
Yeah, so he's just like, what is going on? And it was hilarious because he about hit his head on the ceiling fan, and it was a mess. He ended up throwing up all the red wine because we jolted him up a little too fast, but
So funny.
it was hilarious. To this day, it was the best prank we ever did on anybody because he freaked. It was
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
So I know you want to close the show.
Right.
So I guess let's go around and everybody kind of let everybody know what you do and how to get a hold of you.
I don't do anything.
Mary's a free
I
spirit.
quit my job on
Mary's a
Monday.
free spirit.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't know that?
So
No.
my name is
Oh.
Mary. I'm a Milosa Lifestyle.
That's
They
right.
go sodium on Saturday morning.
Tune in
There
tomorrow.
it
at
is,
11
yeah.
a.m.
Tune in
Promote
tomorrow to Mary. And I'll
I
let you
love
know
it.
what's going on. But yeah, so technically I'm
Free
Nothing.
spirit. Free spirit.
A free agent.
I love that. I'm
Sort
Lynn.
of.
I'm Lynn Gale. I am a health and wellness coach with Optavia, and I am hiring people who would like to be a health coach
Wow,
on
that
my
was
team.
impressive. Nice.
Woo!
Nice slide
You-
in on
yeah,
that one.
you can get a hold of me, Mary, at 224-301-5606.
Was that your cell phone?
Okay, yes, Joe, because it's
Look
okay.
at him.
Oh,
He
God.
gets sweaty.
I get it.
So,
People give
Steph-
out their cell phones.
301-506. No, that's not right.
Yeah, you better get it right if you're gonna do it.
Okay, 224-301-5606.
There you go.
So Steph Conley with Steph's Bookkeeping Service. I guess if you still haven't filed your personal tax returns, we're still accepting some slots on those. You get your taxes done and get a chocolate calculator made by my mom.
Which
Mm.
is good.
Way to go. Thanks, Linda.
You can reach me at 847-942-3004 or stephsbooks.com. Okay.
Joe Turner, Restoration One, water, fire, smoke, mold cleanup, really anything gross, disgusting that your normal cleaning service doesn't want to touch. We love to dive into it. 847-264-4664 is the way to reach us. You can also reach out via our website, restoration1.com, and that'll put you into our platform. So my last one it was from my dad. When he was a full-time firefighter, and they have a fire base, and they have these nets that catch human beings that fall out of buildings or jump out of buildings, right? You know what I'm going. Yeah.
Like Lethal Weapon,
Uh,
or the circles.
It's
circle.
a
Yeah.
circle. It's a
Yeah.
circle. It's called it's like a safety
Like a trampoline almost.
It's not like a trampoline, but it's more made to absorb the shock rather than spring it back.
Right.
Because that'd be an awful thing to do, coming out of 2 stories instead of trampoline and go flying up 2 stories. So they have these safety nets, right? So they had one of the rookies, or I don't know, I can't actually. One of the firefighters in the fire station was pacing around and lit into the captain and yelling and this and that and huffing and puffing and said, "This is it, whatever, I'm done, yada yada," and walked up to the roof and went and walked straight off the roof.
Oof.
And all of the firefighters knew and had the life, the catcher down below. They caught him. He rolled off of it so quick, and they ran back into the bay, the garage bay, right, with the thing. So now he's sprawled out like this on the on the ground like this, right? And the chief runs over and looks over the edge and looks down 2 stories, 3 stories off, the top of the fire building, and sees him laying on the ground down below and goes,
"Oh my God.
Oh crap," and runs down and comes flying down. And everybody's standing in the bay while he's laying out on the floor, and they're all like, "What's up, Cap?" "Oh my God," he's freaking out. "What's going on? Oh my God, oh my God." And then the dude just pops up and they
He's
went,
like,
"Got
"I'm fine."
you."
Oh my
The best prank I have ever heard.
Clear.
Yeah. So unless
Oh
you
my
have the
God.
proper setup for that, and you can catch a
Right.
human
Wow,
being
yeah.
falling out of
Do not
a
try
building,
that at home.
practice.
and I mean, you know what you're doing, right? Like
Wow.
that was
That
one
prank was done by professionals
Yes.
in a
of
professional
Yes.
setting.
only.
Do not
That
try
was
this at
one
home.
of the best pranks I have ever heard. And thank you to my father and
Wow.
his awesome
Brilliant.
brilliant career.
Brilliant.
He might have been on the catching team. He was not on anything else that was involved in planning or doing that, right? Like that might.
Making of this
I'm
prank.
I'm
Wow.
making this an anonymous
So your
as
dad's a
possible,
catcher?
besides my dad. Not that.
Oh,
one, sir.
okay. So-
Oh.
Gross.
Very interesting.
Sir. All right.
Oh.
Close it out. What a great show today.
Great show,
Yeah.
Joe.
Thanks for tuning
Woo!
in. Y'all
Joe.
have a great
Oh,
weekend,
yes.
and we will see you next week.
Yes.
That's it.
Thank you
Hey,
all.
thanks for getting caught in the net. For all of us here, have a great April Fool's evening. Be good to each other. Come back tomorrow for Metaphysical Meanderings with our good friend, Master Psychic Lana Duncan Hartgraves. And then at 11, a brand new episode of My Loso Lifestyle. It's going to be a good one. She's focused. She's had all week to work on it with Mary Shep. Mary, we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Very-